Hello, homeschool mom friends. I am so excited that you decided to join me today for another Letter of the Day Ideas video. Today's letter is letter L, and the theme is Little Red Riding Hood. So the first thing that we did today for letter L was to color our letter L red, like Little Red Riding Hood's cloak. Then after that, we talked about how to write letter L. That one was super duper easy. Letter L just takes 2 lines or 2 fingers if you're using your hand to show it. So just make a 1 and then slide out. 1 and then slide out. The little L is even easier. All you have to do is fall down. I like to talk through the letters so that my students or my children, I homeschooled my children all the way through. They're both in college now. So I teach pre-K online, and I like for the students to be able to talk through the letters so that when they watch me, they can move over to their page and remember the motions. So for big L, I just said 1 and slide out. So they move over and 1 and slide out. I can even hear them saying it along with me. And then for number 1, you just fall straight down like that. So after we practiced writing letter L, we talked about the sound that L makes. Letter L makes this sound. You have to take your tongue, put it on the top of your mouth behind your teeth. Letter L says, sounds like we're singing, la 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 la. Letter L says, la 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 la. So we actually sang a song today. It was called What's Your Favorite Color? And I'm going to put the link below so you can sing that song too and ask your child what their favorite color is. So L says as in la 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 la. This is the hand motion. Put one hand in your chest and one out. La 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 la. Every one of the letters has a hand motion that helps it stick. Anytime you can get your children to engage other parts of their senses, then that's going to help that to stick even better. So that's our hand motion for L, la la la. So that was our letter time for math today. We did a fun worksheet, and you can get the links to the worksheets and also the weekly lesson plan at my website. This was today's math worksheet. It says we're observing the same size. And so here you see at the top, we have grandmother's house, and we want to find the one that is the same. So is it 1, 2, or 3? Which house is the same as the first one here? Very good, very good. So it's going to be number 2. Number 2 is the same size. So you can see what to do here. You just get your child to tell which one is the same size as the first one. So that was math. For music and movement time, we really did just movement because we had just sung the What's Your Favorite Color song. So for movement time, I'm going to demonstrate for you what we did. So we all stood up. We're going to do some moving around. We're going to act out the story of Little Red Riding Hood. So first of all, Little Red Riding Hood has a beautiful red coat. So let's turn around and show off our beautiful red coat. Can you turn around too? Turn around, show off your beautiful red coat. We're pretending that we're acting out the story like Little Red. Okay, so the next thing Little Red does is she walks to grandmother. So let's walk. Walk, walk, walk. And then she stops to look around. Put your hand like this and look around. Look around. Okay, she sees the sunshine. So let's stretch across and make the sunshine. Sunshine. Next, she sees some tall trees. So stretch up like a tall tree. Get on your tiptoes. Tippy toes, stretch, 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 a tall tree. Then she stops to pick some flowers. So let's pick some flowers. Okay, she's almost to grandmother's, but she has to walk a little farther. she's at grandmother's, so let's knock on the door. Knock, knock, knock. When she opens the door, she sees someone lying in the bed, and she says, "What big eyes you have." Can you do this? What big eyes you have. And then she sees 2 big ears. What big ears you have. Can you make 2 ears? What big ears you have. And then she says, "What big teeth you have." Can you chomp? What big teeth you have. Well, then she realizes it's not grandmother, it's a wolf. Can you jump and say, "Wolf, wolf"? Well, a woodcutter's walking along and he hears something going on inside. So he walks over. A woodcutter uses his axe, usually in the woods, to chop trees. So can you jump and chop, jump and chop, jump and chop, jump and chop. Well, when that big bad wolf sees that axe, it gets scared and he runs out the door. Run. The big bad wolf runs out the door. Grandmother jumps out from where she's hiding and says, "Here I am." Can you jump up and say, "Here I am"? One more time. Here I am. When grandmother sees Little Red Riding Hood, she gives her a big hug. Can you hug? A big hug. The end. Yay, good job. So we did a little movement time today and got a little exercise. Now it's time to make something for art. And today what we made was a little paper basket. I'm going to show you on the lesson plans what that looks like. So here it is. Here's the pattern. And again, you can get the weekly lesson plan and all of these worksheets or links to the worksheets at my website. I'll put the link below. So all you really need, though, you don't even have to have the pattern. You just need a square and you need a long rectangle. And then you just cut the corners and then you just fold the corners around and you glue them and it becomes a basket. So let me see if I can get one really quick. Hold on, I'll get one and I'll show you how to put it together. Okay, so I grabbed one. This is the paper square and you just cut out the 4 corners. Not all the way to the middle, just a little ways. Okay, and then you just have to take a corner and just put it on top of the other corner. You see that? And just keep moving it around until they're kind of the same at the top. And then you just glue that right there or tape it. Might have to let it kind of hold it just a second unless you tape it. And we're going to do the same thing with this corner. Look, we're just putting this corner on top and we're moving it around, just like that. See? So we're just going to glue that right there. Hold it down. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're just taking a corner and we're putting it on top of the other corner and moving it around to the side, gluing that little tip down. And we just have one more corner to do. So put this corner on top of the other corner and just kind of slide it on around and glue it. And that is how you make a little paper basket. You could really make it bigger than this if you wanted to. And then you just add a little handle just by cutting out a little piece of rectangle. And that's our art project that we did for today. Color it before you cut it, and that makes it a little bit easier. We didn't do science today. Instead, we did social studies, and we were doing just some very simple map skills. So a compass has 4 main directions. There's north, which looks like it's going up. There's south, which is down. Excuse me. There's east, which is to the right. And there's west, which is to the left on a map. So we're going to start with Little Red Riding Hood, and I'm going to tell you the direction, and let's look on our screen here, and you can use your finger to follow along and help me to know which way to go. All right, so we're going to start by going east. That's this way to the right. Now we're going to go south. Which way is that? Down, 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 south. Now we're going to go to the east. This way is east to the right. Now we're going to go south. That's down. Now let's go west. West is this way. Now let's go south. Which way is south? Down. Now we're going to go to the east. That's this way. And look, we found grandmother. So thank you for your help. For our story time today, of course, we read Little Red Riding Hood. I chose, there are many variations of this story, but I chose the Ladybird picture book, and I changed it just a teeny tiny bit at the end, and I'll tell you that in just a moment. Little Red Riding Hood, I'll read it to you. Once upon a time, there was a small girl called Little Red Riding Hood. She lived with her parents beside a deep, dark forest. In a cottage on the other side of the forest lived her grandmother. And in the deep, dark forest, there also lived a big, bad wolf. "Grandmother's not feeling well," said Little Red Riding Hood's mother one day. "Please take her this cake, but don't stop on the way. Go straight to grandmother's." So Little Red Riding Hood set off through the deep, dark forest. She looked all around. There wasn't a sound. Then who should she meet but the big, bad wolf? "Good day, my dear," growled the wolf with a big, bad smile. "What are you doing here?" But he was thinking, "She looks delicious." "I'm going to grandmother's to take her a cake," replied Little Red Riding Hood. But she was thinking, "My, what big teeth." The wolf had a plan. "Wouldn't your grandmother like some of these flowers?" He smiled. "What a good idea," said Little Red Riding Hood, and she stopped to pick a big bunch of flowers for grandmother. Meanwhile, the wolf sped ahead through the deep, dark forest. At last, he arrived at grandmother's house. "I'm hungry," thought the big, bad wolf, licking his lips, and he knocked at the door. "Hello, grandmother," growled the wolf. "It's Little Red Riding Hood." That sounds more like a big bad wolf, thought grandmother, and she crept quickly under the bed to hide. The wolf went in. He looked all around, but there wasn't a sound. Then his tummy rumbled. "No one's here," he grumbled. "Never mind, Little Red Riding Hood will be coming along soon." Quickly, the wolf put on grandmother's dressing gown and nightcap. Then he hopped into bed and pretended to nap. "Little Red Riding Hood will never know it's me," he snarled. "I'm ready for a tasty snack." Soon Little Red Riding Hood knocked at the door. "Hello, grandmother," she called. "It's Little Red Riding Hood." "Come in, dear," growled the wolf. Little Red Riding Hood opened the door. "Oh, grandmother," she gasped. "What big eyes you have." "The better to see you with, my dear," said the wolf. "Oh, grandmother, what big ears you have." "The better to hear you with, my dear," said the wolf. "Oh, grandmother, what big teeth you have." Little Red Riding Hood was thinking, those teeth remind me of someone. And then the big bad wolf said, "The better to gobble you up." As he leapt out of the bed, grandmother's nightcap flopped right over his eyes. "I can't see. Where'd you go? Who turned out the light? I can't see anything," said the big bad wolf. "Quick, down here, dear," whispered grandmother, and she pulled Little Red Riding Hood under the bed to hide. Just then a woodcutter passed by the cottage. He heard a growling and a howling, and he dashed inside. Well, when that big bad wolf took one look at that axe, he ran out the door, and he kept on running and was never seen again by grandmother or Little Red Riding Hood. The woodcutter looked all around, but there wasn't a sound. And then out crept Little Red Riding Hood and grandmother from under the bed. And Little Red Riding Hood said, "Mother was right. I'll never stop again on my way through the forest." And that big bad wolf, well, he never bothered anybody again. The end. So I changed that if you were parents, if you were looking around, just to make the big bad wolf run out the door. That's a little bit happier ending for little ears. So hopefully that gave you some ideas. For letter L is for Little Red Riding Hood. Hope this blesses your homeschool. I used to teach private school, public school, and I homeschooled my children when they came along all the way through, and they are both in college classes right now. And I am so honored to get to come back and help you in your homeschool journey. I hope this is a blessing. Remember, you can get the weekly lesson plan and the worksheets, or the links for the worksheets, at my website. I will put that down below. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.